Well, to begin with, it's completely revised, of course, and completely up to date. And that means every single thing in the book that can be updated or revised has been. And this covers, of course, a tumultuous period in American history. So it's very important to have it completely up to date. Moreover, we've maintained a nonpartisan orientation in polarized times. And I think that's very important, both for selling the book, for the reception of the book by the students, for the use by the students and by their teachers. And we've also made it even more engaging for students, from the writing style, which is very, very important, and the graphics. And I think that's one reason that we've been around for so many decades, is because we write in an engaging fashion. So we try to engage the students in that way. And we try to engage the students intellectually to focus on the consequences of politics. What difference does it make? So broadly, this is why we're excited about this edition, and hope that we'll have wide usage. We are thoroughly revised and up to date, and we're comprehensive. We cover everything. We don't have an ideological orientation or a methodological orientation, which would cause us to ignore certain aspects of government. So we cover everything. It's also nonpartisan. While we leave no doubt about the wisdom about major thrusts in policy, such as civil rights or women's rights, we make no compromise there. But it's nevertheless, we are not advocating the election of one party or the other. And that certainly makes it easier to sell. Similarly, this is not an ideological book. It's not idiosyncratic. It's not, for example, a book on the left, which would suggest that, institutions really don't matter because everything is run in corporate boardrooms, something like that. So we don't do that. We're not an ideological book. We're not a partisan book. Equally important, the book is written in a clear and engaging manner to maintain student interest, and that's very important. And of course, professors all across the country say the first problem is getting students to read the material. But we try to engage students not only in the crafting of the prose, but also in the nature of what we actually say. So, for example, we engage them with the "you are the policymaker" features, or "you are the judge," and other features where we ask students to participate, to think about something. We tell them the outcome of the court cases, of course, but for many policies, there is no one answer, but we ask them to think about them. So we try to engage them that way. In addition, we have two core themes. Now, one focuses on democracy, which is certainly a central question of our time. But every book can say, well, we talk about democracy because if you talk about elections, ostensibly you're talking about democracy. But this really is a theme in our book. We discuss it at the beginning of every chapter, the middle of every chapter, and the end of each chapter. Moreover, we have a second theme, which is about the scope of government, what government does. And that's really important because that's why politics matters. So our broad orientation is exactly that, why politics matters. So one indicator of that is special features throughout the book, including why it matters. But more broadly, we not only tell people about the separation of powers, for example, but why it's important that we have a separation of powers. What difference does it make that we have a separation of powers? How does that affect the outcomes of government? Similarly, what difference does it make that we budget the way we do, that we have uncontrollable expenditures? Social Security and Medicare would be two examples of large uncontrolled expenditures. So students need to understand that. And we say that there's a reason. We can tell you a definition, or we can tell you why it matters for the budget. And indeed, we have a unique chapter on the budget, talking about taxing and spending, which is the core of much of politics. And I guarantee you, anyone who will spend a few minutes mastering about 20 pages of that chapter will know more about American government and more about public policy than their parents, their grandparents, or almost anyone they meet. So we're very proud about that. It's sort of a lagniappe, it's just an extra, but I think it's very valuable. Now, I should say two other things. First of all, the book is supported by a full range of ancillary materials, as you would expect. And second, the author team of this volume are noted scholars, the most scholarly of any textbook team. There's no textbook team that has written more scholarly books than ours. And we incorporate the best and most recent scholarship in the book, and we take great pride in that. So we're not only up to date with, let us say, current events, but we're also up to date in the latest findings, the latest understandings about the nature of American government. Well, first of all, that it's completely revised and up to date. Second, that it's written to engage students, both from the nature of the prose to the nature of the content. And finally, it focuses on what is most important about American politics. What difference does politics make for what government does? We're quite interested in engaging with faculty who might use this book. First of all, we can help the reps by writing messages thanking faculty for considering adopting the book, offering to answer their questions, and seeking their feedback. So we're very happy to do that with a very light touch. Second of all, we're very happy to answer questions about the material from faculty or their students. And indeed, I would encourage faculty to write me directly with comments and questions. I'm also happy, as are my co-authors, to speak to classes in person or digitally. That's a free service that we can offer them. I've gone to many institutions around the country over the years to give talks, and we're happy to do that again. And now, of course, it's very easy to do digitally. And finally, we can help reps with their presentations to faculty. And they may have questions for us and what's the most effective way to make a presentation, although they are probably very skilled at that. But what can we say about your book that might be useful? And I'm very happy for you to give all of your reps my email and my phone number. And so they can call me at any time so I can help them engaging in faculty. And of course, we're open to helping in other ways that that you folks might think about that I haven't anticipated, but we're open to that. So we're eager to do this and have a substantial experience in doing it as well.